What them haters talking about?
Damn. Order and protection.
What's up, family? Is Christianity a slave religion or not? In the video clip that I'm about to show you, an educator by the name of Dr. Darnice explains why she thinks it is. And personally, I agree with her. Now, just because I agree with her does not mean that I'm going to try to change your mind. My job with this video is the same as it is with all the videos that I put out on this channel. It is to give you the information. You can take that information and do whatever you please. If you feel like it's news you can use, put it in your pocket and don't let nobody hock it. If you ain't with it, well, you know what to do. Check out the video and leave your comments. No more talk.
Hi, this is Dr. Darnice coming with another installment of my religion courses here on YouTube. And I was just motivated to come on real quick and talk about Christianity as a slave religion. There's a lot of talk always in the media about that. A lot of other videos here on YouTube that talk a lot about Christianity being a slave religion. And I actually teach this. I teach African American religions. And yes, it's true that African Americans were introduced to Christianity largely through the slave trade. And but what I'd like to talk about is how that happened, because when you think about it, it really should not have happened. One would think you wouldn't take on the religion of your oppressor, right? You wouldn't take on anything from your oppressor if you could help it. So the fact that most African Americans are Christian and are in fact Methodist or Baptist or maybe Pentecostal is remarkable. And since I was teaching this in class, I was having a conversation with my students about, why that is, how that happened. And for the most part, they're college age, so 18 to 22 roughly. They haven't really thought about it before. They just come from their own particular tradition, some of them Catholic, some of them, different kinds of Christians, some of them of no particular faith, some of them Muslim, or what have you, really. And so what we talk about, though, in the class is how African people were able to infuse their understanding of Christianity with their own African worldview, coming here as an African people with a culture, with a religion already, and then being given a form of Christianity that was intended to keep them in their place, keep them mentally enslaved, and keep them submissive. But African people did something rather unique with Christianity, and we call this creating a folk religion, a folk kind of Christianity. And that may sound, weird, like, well, what does that mean, folk Christianity? But it really just talks about the fact that every kind of religion is infused with culture. The people who practice that religion also infuse their culture in it. Otherwise, it would not be relevant, and they would not continue practicing it. Think about if you went to a church similar to you, meaning similar to your denomination or your religion. So if you're a Christian, suppose that you went to another Christian church, but they spoke another language. Suppose you went to visit a Christian church and it's all in Spanish and you don't speak Spanish. How would that be for you? You probably wouldn't go back because it's not relevant and it's not speaking to you. So that's what I mean by religion has to be culturally relevant, and so that's what a folk religion is, or folk Christianity. It is that form of Christianity that's infused with something that makes it relevant. So when you're an enslaved people, what is most relevant to you? Freedom, right? That's the one thing that you want more than anything. Slaves wanted their freedom. So the way they were able to receive Christianity is because the slave owners, I guess unbeknownst to them, what they were really doing was talking about a religion and a God who frees slaves. Go and read the book of Exodus, right? Go and watch the Ten Commandments, and it's about Moses freeing slaves out of Egypt as God's prophet, right? So as a people who are illiterate in slavery, they're still hearing these stories, and they get the idea. This God they're talking about free slaves. This God comes to the side of the underdog repeatedly in these stories I keep hearing about in this book they have. Maybe I really can do something with this religion. So, true enough that most African Americans received Christianity through slavery, generationally passed down. But keep in mind, the empowering part is that African Americans were able to do something with that Christianity that made it relevant and that made it not completely crazy that they took on the slave master's religion. So they were able to bring their African worldview about who God is, that God is, and put it into this understanding about a God who liberates and a God who frees people from oppression. So there it is for today. I just wanted to come on and add something real quick. I was just sort of feeling a little bit since this is what we talked about in class today. So that's it. Bye for now.
What the haters talking about?
Order protection.